Kelly Marie here with another lawn clippings video by Lawn Fawn, and we are making this super cute and fun snow globe today. These are the things that I will use to make this project. Have a cute little mason jar here, and then the stamp sets Winter Bunny and Let It Snow. We're going to use Let It Snow to create the little scene for Winter Bunny to sled through. I love those two stamp sets. Have some white cardstock so we can stamp out and color everything. Then I have some packing tape here that we're going to use to kind of faux laminate this, but of course if you had a laminator that would be perfect also. A glue gun to glue it all together. Some glitter to create our snow in the snow globe. Some distilled water, that way there's no bacteria or anything in there so your snow globe stays pretty for a long time. Some glycerin that I just bought at my local pharmacy. You can find them anywhere, it's pretty inexpensive. And then this really cute mason jar here. I love those little short ones. Right now I am just tracing over this little mason lid jar, so it kind of gives me an idea of how big to create my scene because we don't want to make it any wider than the jar so it fits inside. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp Winter Bunny on the side here so that I can create the scene and then layer him on top. I'm stamping out my chevron trees from Let It Snow. I just love the chevron trend for the holidays, and I'm stamping it once and then stamping it again with whatever ink is left over to kind of give a two-tone green look. I wanted to make sure the greens really coordinated well together, so this is a great way to do it, to get a dark one and then a light one just like that. So now we're doing some quick Copic coloring. I'm using C1 and C4 to color in my cute little bunny here. $20 for a little blush on his cheek, and R22 to start coloring the scarf, and then R27 to finish it off. I like to layer a light red and then a dark red on top of it and then leave some parts open like that so it kind of looks like the scarf is a little worn. I think it looks really pretty that way. Then just go back and blend in with that R20 to get that kind of worn scarf look. E57 and E59 for his sled. And then C8 for the rest of the sled. I decided to stamp a couple more trees now for our cute little Winter Bunny just to make sure the forest looked really great that way, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp that green off so I can get a lighter tree down there at the bottom just to fill out the scene and have it look perfect for my snow globe. Now I'm just erasing that pencil line I made to help myself kind of have a guide to know how wide to make my scene, and then I'm going to glue down Winter Bunny into his little forest there. Now I'm using the jar to see how tall I should make it. That's why when I cut it out, I left a huge long piece at the bottom. I'm just seeing how tall and then creating my crease there. And you can see my jar, by putting it on top, kind of gives me a good idea of how it's going to look. So I really liked it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that part back and create a base for my little stamp scene to sit on. So kind of when you cut it out, just leave a huge part at the bottom because you could always trim it off later, but at least this will give you kind of an idea. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim the base to fit on the inside part of that lid. I am adding some packing tape here because I need to laminate this paper to protect it from the water that's going to be in the snow globe. I don't have any laminating sheets or a laminator, so I'm just kind of making do with what I have around the house. And what's great is because it's going to be in the snow globe, you won't see that it's not perfectly laminated. So something like packing tape or Scotch tape works perfectly here. It's nice to be able to kind of use things from around the house to protect the cute stamped image this way. I'm stamping the same scene on the back side just in case somebody sees the other side of this. That way the jar looks really cute from all different directions. And just gluing down my Winter Bunny again in his cute scene here. And then doing the laminating process with the packing tape once again to protect both sides of my cute little scene. I'm using my bone folder just to press out any bubbles and make sure there's a really great seal around my cute little stamped scene. I'm trimming around, leaving a bit of a border around everything so that I don't break the seal of the tape, and you won't see it once it's in the jar, so you can kind of just leave a nice little border around there just to make sure everything is protected. And now it's time to hot glue it all together. So I'm gluing down this base here, so I'm going to glue down the first fold, and then you'll see I made a second fold to make sure that the little scene stands up straight, because once you put the packing tape on it, it's kind of stiff, so just putting some hot glue in there and you'll see it's going to stand up perfectly. just like that. And the hot glue gun works really well for this. And then I'm going to use it, I'm applying a ton because I don't want it to fall off, onto my lid here. And you need to make sure, kind of lean right over it and make sure you get it in right in the center so you don't cover up any of the seal part of the jar. And here you can see how cute it looks in there already. Now it's the fun and messy part. I'm going to go ahead and fill my jar pretty close to the top with water, although I'm going to add the extra water I need in at the end. So just filling it up with the distilled water, and then we will add the glycerin to make sure that the snow falls really slowly in this water. That was a little too much glycerin there. You can put a little less than that in your snow globe. And then adding our pretty glitter. I added kind of some little confetti flakes that I found at my local craft store and just some normal glitter. And then I'm breaking all that glitter up and really mixing it in the water before I add my little winter bunny in there. And as you can see, I had a couple of trials here putting this all together, but that's okay. It's just water, so it cleans up really easily. So now I'm making sure to line up my image so that it's, facing the front part of the jar. And then now is when we add in our extra water. So we make sure there's no air bubbles. If you don't put enough water, you'll have a big air bubble at the top. So kind of add in enough, and it's going to spill out a little bit, but you can kind of work on top of a towel. And then screw down your lid really tightly here to make sure that none of that water comes out. And that is it. A beautiful snow globe. I just love it. I think this would be such a fun craft to do with your friends or with your kids, and a wonderful gift to give to anybody this holiday season. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!